Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to this video, and we're talking about weight fluctuations, especially on the scale. We do want to educate you on what is happening with your body. If I ask you to do certain things, change up your training, eat a different way, just change a few food items, maybe improve sleep, improve stress, that's going to affect things like your weight. And I want you to see both the good, the bad, and the ugly from all of that. This video came about when I was texted by one of my newer clients. I love her already. She was so open and just so vulnerable about where she was starting with her weight. It was already a sensitive subject, as it is with many of you guys. And so just know that you're not alone. She had shared with me her starting weight. Now we do that just so that we can start to understand, okay, well, where is your weight maintenance? We can't just throw darts and assume that we understand how to tell you to eat, how to add, subtract things out of your diet without knowing some kind of starting point. But what she found was that her starting weight was actually higher than what she had thought. She hadn't weighed herself in some time. It actually did affect her somewhat negatively, or rather it was just a challenge. And so she texted me, she said, look, this is how I feel right now. I don't feel really good because of this number on the scale. My response to her was, number one, thank you. Thank you for sharing all that. But number two, it was really explaining that that number doesn't define her. Now you may have heard that before. That number won't define you. Your bank account number, your number of followers on social media, none of that is going to define you, just like your scale weight won't either. And so with her, I said, great, we now have a starting point. We didn't really know before. And in fact, we were just guessing. I've had clients where we kind of guessed their weight because they were afraid to take a weight and they were like 30 pounds off. That can negatively affect performance, cognition, digestion, sleep, all of these things. And so we want to understand where our correct weight is. It's so necessary. It's so helpful. You know that your weight can definitely go up or down. Now, if we talk about weight change, we may want to kind of set some goals around like a 1% change in body weight per week when we want to be losing weight. If we're gaining weight, we want to make sure, maybe that's putting on muscle mass, that's what we want, right? We want all body fat loss or all weight loss to come from body fat. And we really hope that we can really see all of our weight gain coming from lean body mass. But why is it actually happening? Why does your scale fluctuate? Well, number one, it can fluctuate if you're just having a different kind of day, especially if you're stressed, if you're underslept. Those are the kind of things that can throw off the water content within your body. You can be storing more water, holding on to more water, especially if we have cortisol levels that are high from stressful environments. So you want to make sure that that is something that you're going to be aware of, and don't let that get right to your head. We also have things like sodium, carbs, supplements. All of those things get pulled into your muscles. And as they get pulled into your muscles, water follow it. Just like with things, just like cortisol and everything else. So if you have a high sodium meal the night before, if you end up having a high carb meal the night before, none of those things are bad. We need sodium, we need carbs, and supplementation. And even when you have those foods, let's say you have those foods later in the evening, okay? You have them later in the evening, they still may be within your gut, and that can be adding to your weight. So we have water in the muscles, we have more food within the bowels, and that can throw off your weight, because I'm going to ask you to be taking your weight in the morning at the same time. Because you can't go through a day, throw on more stress from work, from family, from just what your schedule is, be eating throughout the day, and then compare a number earlier in the morning when you're completely empty to an afternoon number. Some of you have still done that, and I ask you not to. We definitely have things just like urine and stool. If you're holding on to that in the morning, if you're constipated, that's gonna end up bringing up the scale too. Muscle mass, right? If your goal has been to build muscle, your weight's gonna end up going up. Inflammation, if you end up being inflamed from a workout, you just changed up your workout, you did something really heavy, you know that that number is gonna come up again because of the water that's gonna be coming into your muscles. Why are we doing it? I've explained. Why are we taking your weights? Because we want to see that change over time, whether we're looking for muscle mass gain, lean body mass gain, or we're looking for body fat loss. We just want to make sure that we know that there's a change happening. When do you do it? First thing in the morning. Daily morning weights. Get up, void, right? Go to the bathroom, take your weights, and stay consistent with that. Just make sure you're doing this. Take that weight every single day at the same time. Now, at some point in the future, we probably won't be taking your weight every single day, but definitely as we change things up, we change variables, we do want to understand what's happening, okay? And I want you to really hear this. Every scale is correct. That scale that's off balanced at your grandmother's house, the newer scale that you just ordered that's worth $700, right? It could be an in-body, a Withings, it could be any type of scale. It is a correct scale, and let me tell you why. Because it is a correct scale as long as you're using it consistently at the same time in the same way. The two most accurate scales in the world, they may actually be off. And I'll tell you why that's because if you end up comparing one to the other, it's going to change. The number on the scale does not define you. The number on the scale is correct for that one point in time, and you just want to make sure that you're trending those over time. So if you know that the fluctuation is going to happen, you know the fluctuation can definitely be a higher percentage point, I just want you to truly, truly, truly be ready for it and then look for that trend over time. I ask all my clients if they want to see change, look for your highs and your lows throughout each week. If your highs are getting lower and your lows are getting lower, you know that it's moving in the right direction. If it's more comfortable for you, take your averages. Take your average weight throughout the week, right? As long as you're taking it at the same time every single morning, you can take those averages, and then that's going to end up supporting your overall knowledge about how your body's going to end up changing. How you feel, how your confidence is, how your clothes fit, what you see in a mirror, your strength, your progress in training, all of those things are likely going to improve, however you define that, if you end up seeing that progress in the scale. So it is just a number that we're taking to make sure that we're on the right track, that we know that we're making progress in the right way. But it's the off-scale victories that mean the most. Because even if you end up reducing body fat or gaining muscle and you don't feel good about yourself, about your outlook, about the future, those numbers really mean even so much less. Please, please, please remember why the scale fluctuates, why you're taking the weight, and really how to look at that overall adjustment over time. You got this. We'll talk soon.